So here I am in front of the Eco Flats here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It was spring break, so my son and I hopped on a plane and we traveled to Arkansas, where I do have family, and we decided to bring the presentation live to you so that you could see it and believe it. I am standing in front of two of the four buildings. To remind everybody, these buildings were constructed between 1968 and 1972. The buildings themselves, concrete based, steel concrete based, have been recycled, and the complex was gutted entirely in 2011 and completely rebuilt in an eco-friendly way. Let's take a quick tour. Here we have the mandatory recycling, which, as noted in the written materials, this complex in 2011 started multifamily recycling in Fayetteville. Prior to that time, the city of Fayetteville had no recycling for apartment living. And now we have community recycle bins here for cardboard, paperboard, steel cans, aluminum cans, glass, mixed paper, and plastic containers, as well as recycle bins in everybody's apartment, which is groundbreaking here in Fayetteville. Here we have one of two cisterns that are 46 gallons and collects stormwater runoff from the roof, stores it, and the water is used throughout the dry seasons for irrigation around the property. And the property is, of course, planted with native plants and drought-resistant plants. I want to bring your attention to the planted rooftop here, which shows the energy efficiency of having a green roof with the white reflective borders followed with the planting on top. Provides cooling in the summer months and heat retention in the winter months. I'm here in front of the second of the 4,600-gallon cisterns, and behind me is the community vegetable garden. And this was a major selling point to residents, where you can plant and eat your own vegetables here. It's part of the sustainable living experience. And if you can see off in the distance, not too far, is the University of Arkansas, well within walking and biking from this complex, which enhances the experience of residents that attend school at this university, which currently has about 30,000 students. Here we are at the community pool, saline based. And again, I would remind viewers that the entirety of the grounds are non-chemical, meaning there are no pesticides used. Non-saline, or the saline-based pool, provides a non-chemical swimming experience. And if you look over here, we have the vines, the wiring for the vines to grow up on the side of the building, which provides remarkable protection from the sun, and thereby reduces energy demands during the hot season here in Arkansas. Here we are now on the roof deck, one of several roof decks in the area that promotes community interaction. And as you can see here, there are solar panels on all of the rooftops. And if you look over the border, you can see the individual cooling and heating ducts that service all of the below apartment units. Off in the distance, again, is the University of Arkansas. Very pretty views. And notice the reflective white rooftops, which serve to deflect sunlight and further reduce energy costs. I will remind everyone that prior to the renovation, the entirety of this apartment community was cooled in the summer months by constantly running sprinklers that were placed on the roof, dumping gallons and gallons of potable water into the sewer system. All right, here we are in front of the leasing office, and as you can see here, the LEED Platinum designation was awarded in 2011 when renovations were completed. Down here we have the Energy Star certification, 2014, 2015, and 2016. And Within the leasing office itself, there's a full map of the complex and an office to entice renters to come join the sustainable community of eco-modern flats here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Thank you. The project developer is Specialized Real Estate Group out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, and actually they developed it and they own it. And I interviewed one of the principals of this organization, and she provided the photos that you're now looking at, the before and after photos. And she said, we were kids, we were in our early 30s when we did this, and we got involved in the business by managing bank-owned properties during the Great Recession, and we developed relationships with private equity folks as well as banks, and we were able to buy and do this groundbreaking development for Arkansas back in 2011. On that note, the financing, they procured a $5.1 million construction loan from the construction lender during the construction process after they had broken ground. And if you read the ULI case report on this, she notes that it was very tenuous to procure a loan, and that was U.S. Bank in Arkansas, and the permanent financing was done with Rainbridge Real Estate Capital out of Atlanta. They also had an equity partner from Portland, Oregon, who filled in the gaps. That's Eco Modern Flats. Hope you enjoyed the presentation.